Oh, Isaac, you might have to jump on if Jade doesn't get his shit together. What's doing, bud?
Not much, buddy, not much.
Who's better you in this time?
In my bed, I'm rained in, mate. Couldn't get to the gym.
Mate, you staying dry or what?
I try getting to the gym. The roads were closed.
Yeah, right.
It's crazy out here, man.
Mm.
How you doing, mate?
Mate, I'm good. I'm got to hold it this time. Get a
You
little mobile on the road setup.
even got the Benny Hill hairstyle. How good's that? Got any left of it? Look at that Benny Hill.
Jesus, gorgeous, isn't it?
Hey,
Yo.
there's
Yo,
another.
yo, yo.
How we get on?
We're good. Has anyone heard from Jade or where he's at or what he's doing?
Wasn't
No.
at the Crown last night? Wasn't he at the Crown? Honeymoon?
Yeah, he might have been. He might have been. Might still be on the nest.
Get Isaac on. He's got a better sense of humour anyway.
I love it. As soon as someone's not on, they just get it, don't they? They get it hard as.
It's tough one then.
They get it hard as. Oh yeah.
Hey!
Yo.
Going on?
How are you,
John.
mate? You good?
Very good, very good. Fed, so I'm feeling happy now.
Food in the
Hey,
day.
did that donut get a 10 or what?
Fucking that got a 12, I'm telling you. Brooklyn donut, wherever that is. Fucking hell, that's a 12, baby. I don't even like donuts, and that was a 12.
Okay, awesome. All right, well, we might start with Isaac's fight then, because I don't know, you wouldn't have been paying attention to any other fights previous to yours, would
I'll
you?
get off and let you digest it all. But happy to have a chat.
Righto. All right, let's go then. Skin, what do you think of his fight?
Be honest, just because I want to be honest.
The honest truth is that I didn't think you needed a warm-up fight. I
Yep.
thought, you lost to a number 2 guy in the world. You're an accomplished MMA guy. You're a decent boxer. You got good power. You could have gone straight in with Ivan or another guy. I didn't think you needed a live body. That's the honest truth, because that was the only fight card that was a mismatch, because we knew the writing was on the wall. Whether you got him out in 1 or 2, we knew you were going to get him out. Like, all credit to the other bloke for taking the fight, because
Yeah.
not many blokes are going to take the fight. But I honestly, at your level, I don't think you need a tune-up fight. That's the honest truth.
I appreciate that. Appreciate the honesty too.
No, all good.
Bear in mind, but he doesn't make the decisions.
Yeah, I want to get fucking paid. I just owe the wife a honeymoon and shit, I was getting paid left or right. I had to get it done, so I don't
Yeah, no. What do you think, Sava?
I completely disagree with Skinny. I don't think that at all. I think Isaac's had
quick
hard.
story.
I think
That
Isaac's
fight
had
was meant to-
so many.
That fight was
Go on,
meant
sorry.
for well, I got told that was meant to be Andre's opponent, and then they rejigged that and got him that spastic super lightweight 40-year-old bloke to knock over with that good record on paper, 33 with 28 knockouts. It looks awesome on paper, but it's a way easier fight. And then they rejigged that and gave Bo me, and then gave Andre the one he got last time. So that was how it was meant to go down, and I was without an opponent. But Dean thought twice, because obviously Bo's a harder fight than old mate, and wanted a softer fight for Andre. That's what I reckon. That's my
All right,
I
okay,
reckon that was. I reckon you were due that fight. I think that's absolutely fine, man. Your record is hard fight after hard fight after hard fight. Like, I think you were due one where you could go out there and look good. I'm a bit pissed off though, because I never gamble, and Dara taught me to put money on, and I decided, I was like, Isaac will come out and box on this one. I was like, he'll take his time and he'll want to box everyone. So I put $50 on the fight going more than 3 rounds, and then he just fucking ices him. I was like, oh, fuck's sake. The lesson to learn is don't gamble, kids.
I appreciate that as well. The cruise your fight off the back of my record. I also appreciate that. So thank you.
Yeah, no, it wasn't a complete tin can either. It's not like you boxed somebody who was 3 wins and 50 losses. Like,
Man, he's
Mate,
only
you,
lost
you
was to Ben
deserve that.
Barney, who boxed him over 6 rounds to a decision. So, and Ben's a good,
Yeah.
Exactly.
good puncher, and he's a big puncher, and he couldn't get the job done. So, I was
Yeah,
happy
but
with it.
Yeah.
You
It
know?
was,
You
it
get
was
the
just a,
naysays online, but fuck, they don't tuck me in at night, so I don't give a fuck.
just he was
100%.
inactive, and
Yeah.
all his wins were against blokes with losing records. But it's all good. Mate, you might have needed that fight. I don't think you need to get your confidence back because
Yeah,
you look like
there's
a
all
proud
that.
man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, I'm gonna address a couple of things because I like to take the positives out of it. So I will. First things first. It's now common knowledge that you were unwell prior to the weigh-in. How bad was that?
Yeah, that was fucked. I got it last Friday. Missed my last sprint session Saturday. Just laid up all week and still staying positive. And Blair was still staying positive, so he did put it in my mind that I was sicker than I was, but I wasn't fucking good. I had a bowl next to my bed because I couldn't sleep Wednesday, Thursday because I was in coughing fits, and the amount of shit that come out of me was fucking disgusting because I was just spitting in a bowl and throwing because I didn't want to get up and down in bed. And yeah, it was fucking horrible. But in saying that, I cut the weight and that went well without a hitch. And then Friday night I slept very sound. So coming into the fight Saturday, I was well rested. But there was a lot of shit in there. But you know, fuck, I'm not going to reschedule anything. And I wouldn't have the power to anyway. So get it done.
And I like how you touched on that there was more shit coming out of you than usual as well.
Fucking A. That's it. Yeah, more than normal. And it was fucking green and yuck. Fucked. So.
Right. The other thing I fucking love to see is when like a coach and an athlete put a plan into practice, whether it's one punch or an actual plan, and then you see that happen, but there's proof of the practice beforehand. Like, we were sitting there watching you do it. That was great. And then I saw you, then that exact punch happened, but there was video footage of it. That was so good to see.
Yeah, that's cool. That was like that Conor McGregor moment when he got elbow with that left hand, you know, the little snippet before walking out and hit the same shot. So, yeah, I was just happened to be found that punch in training. I sort of just leaned towards a punch to a certain training camp, one that's coming off for me, and that fade off right hand was just landing, you know, in sparring and training, and it come off on the night and got the chocolate, so I'm happy with it. And it's a big punch too, like that one in training. That's a big punch in training, so on the night with 10-ounce gloves on, fucking hell. So.
All right, really quickly, big shout-outs in the comment section. I've only seen a few of yous pop up, obviously, really quickly. Paul Tapley, Honey Hooney, Jackson England, and a few more there. Now,
I
Isaac.
had the pleasure of meeting Jackson out the back, mate, and I didn't know who it was. I was sitting down stretching, and he said at last, "Hey, mate, my name's Aussie." I said, "Jackson England." I said, "Fuck," I jumped to my feet and had a good chat with him for about 20 minutes before I was walking out. And he's a great kid, and fucking he can fight like all fucking that's the fight he had with Flemo. I like Flemo too. I'm a good mate of Flemo's, and you know, that's a fight every fighter wishes to be in, and he come up short, but it was a close fight either way, and you know, he's a good kid.
Have you heard from Bo Hardis yet?
Yeah, I reached out, got his number, and sent him a text. And he's happy. He's disappointed he got caught. And yeah, he's happy and can go home with the kids and, you know, the wife. So he's all sweet.
Action Jackson saying, "Thank you, brother. Really appreciate it, Harvin." Now, last one from me before I let the boys have a yarn here. Was it the same punch that we saw in the Jamie Weech fight as well?
Similar,
except that
but,
was step back. That was a step back as a
I wasn't shifting backwards. That was just fucking plumb on the chin, and I dug the toes in with that one.
Righto, Savi, you can hit him up with something if you want. Go.
Yeah, I think you've basically covered everything anyway. It was a good performance. I think you had good intentions of boxing a little bit longer, and I think he caught you with a 1-2.
Yep.
And it pissed you off a bit, didn't it? And that was it. That was it. It like literally took one shot from him. Like, right, I'm gonna get you. And that was it. The game was on. I seen your demeanour change immediately.
Yeah, that's about it, mate. So I'm just happy it went that way, and now people remember my last fight as a big highlight knockout. So, and that's like this sport. Fucking fans don't remember your last performance; they remember that. So I'm happy with that. Now I get to go enjoy Fiji with my wife.
Boom. Skin. Our mates at Tawasi saying that he was landing that in sparring. That's good news, eh?
Well, even Bo was throwing the same punch a couple of times.
Yeah.
Early in the fight, so you both sort of missed each other a few times in that first minute. But your timing was obviously way better, and no one's gonna forget that knockout, not anytime soon, anyway. So, but congrats, bro. You did good. All you could do is get out who's in front of you. That's all. It's not.
Yeah.
You're not the matchmaker or the promoter. I just thought your levels. You can fight at a higher level. That's all.
And I appreciate that coming from you because you've been there, and I'm starting to hopefully change the narrative again, and people realise I can do this at a very high level, and I'm not just this freak show with big power. I've got a fucking brain in there somewhere, and I can use it in the boxing ring. So I appreciate that.
How long have you been middleweight for?
Oh man, I can make it. I'm sweet making it there. People think it's hard for me, like the undies come off, but that's just because we got it down to the fucking. We're only dehydrated for that very, very minimal bit, and then we're back up. You know, we're up around 80. So I that was comfy as making. I do a lot of heat acclimation. There's a lot of things that go into it in the prep of making the weight. So yeah, man, I'll be there for a while.
Oh, very cool.
Coconut Podcast says that was a technical coconut overhand. Ha. I swear Hardman is a coconut. Honey Hooney says you got a crazy right hand. Breidis asking for tickets. Coconut says they got TikTok memories. NFT Champ says Hardman don't play. He feasts on his prey. I know you're going to take it every time when you get it, but did you did you want it because you wanted to display your boxing skills? You'd said that to me leading up to it on a couple of occasions.
Yeah, for sure, man. I wanted to. Yeah, the only time Adam, I deviated a little bit because I dropped myself in it with get the whole by the bar, friggin' shout the venue and that play that into it, and I was too emotional for the rapper. But going back 2021, my boxing performance against Mark Lucas, Berridge, and E-Man were flawless. You know, I used skills, I had to overcome some things, adapted, and Mark Lucas and Robert, I boxed beautifully over 8 rounds, a pair of them, and stopped them both, and then. E-Man was a little bit higher pace and I hurt him early, but they were good performances, and that's how I just want people to remember when they think of me. Yes, devastating power, but also can put my punches together as well, like I have shown and proved. Not so much in this one and the first one I launched, hurt him, and it was only moments until the next one landed and put him unconscious. So I can put them together. Anyone that's seen me spar in the gym, the time at Paul Briggs's gym when I sparred, Tim Zoo, there was 60 people in the gym, over 10 rounds. People know I can put my punches together and I'm good. It's just the people that pay the money for the pay-per-view at home, they need to see it too. So it is what it is.
You're over the dollar with him too, haven't you? Done over 100 with Timmy, haven't you?
Yeah, man. And it's the first set of 10 I did was the first time doing 30-second rest, and he punched my head in, and I'm not even going to fucking lie about that. That was for the Jamie Weech prep. He nearly fucking put me down in the 9th or something like that, and the Russians were screaming at him in Russian. Eagle was going Burko. I'm pretty sure he was saying, finish him. And I left the gym that day, and I said to Blair, I rang him on the way home, I said, oh, yeah, we got a little bit of work to do. I'm not where I thought I was. And then I was in awe of him a little bit, and then so was Blair. He looks like Costa in his headgear, and we went back and back and back, and by the end of those 40 rounds of that prep, it was even. So, and then it's just gotten better and better. So, yeah, man, I can do it. I can do it with the best of them.
Your Russian's a little bit off. He wasn't saying finish him. He was saying if he dies, he dies.
Yeah, fucking probably, because that's what it sounded like. Fucking hell. But it was fucking swinging in, and there was a gym full of my people in our gym, so I couldn't go down in front of my people, and fucking hell, it was close, but.
What's next? There's obviously talks of Mikhailovich.
Yeah, for sure, man. I'm going to go to Fiji, decompress a little bit. Not that I need a rest. Get over this sickness because it's still hanging around. Got some good things happening at the end of the year, but man, I want he's got to fight against that Francis, the guy that just took Jack Gipp the distance. I'm a big fan of Jack Gipp. I seen the first 2 rounds, which were Jack's best 2 rounds, and then I got talking to Tassie, and we missed the bulk of the fight, so I don't have an opinion on the rest of the fight. But it was a close fight. It was majority decision to Jack, I think. and he's a big guy, Francis Southpaw. So he's the first fucking guy that Andre will fight that's got a pulse. So he's got to get through that. That's the end of this month. He'll have to get through that, and then I would love to fucking smash that bloke. Yeah, we'll just see how it goes. You know, he's the can crusher, and I'm the VB Torley, so it's going to be a different story when he gets in there with me.
Sav, you want to say something to him?
No, I hope that fight happens.
I
I'll be well up for that.
I just love Sav's face. He just sits there and just watching the whole time, just watching,
Hey,
enjoying the shit out of it.
Andre could fight, and he fought our boy Alex, and Alex is a decent fighter in his own right. And he said, man, Andre punches like a mule. Zerafa said the same thing. Zerafa said, man, the kid's as strong as they come. He doesn't look strong.
Yeah, no, he's
He
wiry.
must have.
He puts his punches together well. He's got a good left hand. So, man, like we're both good punchers. So we both
He's a
talk
good finisher.
about
He's a
He's
very good finisher.
So
Yeah.
I feel like I'm just equally, if not better, finisher. And I fought a stiffer competition. So my way through has been harder than he. So when the going gets tough, does he get going or what? I don't know. So whereas I've fought the guys with a pulse, you know, Taj Singh, Robert Berry, G-Man, all of them.
Yeah.
Whitelaw, he's
G-Man's awesome.
you know, Matt Sheehan, he's a light heavyweight. Lucas Miller just went the distance with Ronald Quinlan, and man, I've fought all the guys here in Australia, and bigger guys too. So I've fought punches, and I appreciate Andre's ability. He's good. He's a good talker. He draws people in, and he fights well. He finishes people with no pulse, and that's it. So see what happens.
Right, very good. Last thing on Isaac before we start ripping into, I guess, Jai, because you saw Jai's fight, didn't you, Isaac?
Yeah, I didn't watch it with intent. I felt the energy of the venue, but, man, people were pulling me left and right, this and that. So I watched glimpses of it, and he looked fucking fantastic. But I've got the pay-per-view, and I'm going to sit down and watch it with a good eye, and then I'll be able to talk about it. But I've congratulated him. The adventure he had to go through to get the job done. Fucking good on him. And that bloke's only loss was to Usyk, so he's the fucking on top of the world. He's the best in the world.
Right, then we'll let you go. But one thing I do want to say is, even in that clip, I'm glad we got that shot of that in that clip that we put on today. With the Nitro boys all dressed in black, walking out with you, look like a fucking wolf pack, didn't it? It looks so good.
Yeah, it was good. The gentleman at the front was my father-in-law, so it was good to have him a part of it as well. So, but the boys were all coming in strong for sure.
Right, well, you better get back in the kitchen and start cooking for that woman, yeah?
Yeah, and fucking hopefully some tens or something. Look what she's fucking resorted to. She's got fucking Maccas now. That's bullshit. I'm quitting. She's eating fucking mac and cheeses. You don't get the fucking lamb ragu anymore, boys.
All right, mate. I'll talk to you. All the best. Good on you.
See you.
See you in a bit, mate.
See you, mate.
He's all right, man. I like him.
Such a character.
Mate, he's good value.
Yeah, good value.
He's good value. Let's see who's on here.
Get Tap on.
Is he on?
He's on.
Yeah, he just puts laughing faces. Get him on. Talk about it.
Oh, where is he? Hang on a sec. There he is. Just under Quan, Blair, and Chris Evers. Boom. Let's see how he look. Let's see how he is. See if he wants to jump on.
Tap's a sexy man, bro. Are you sure you want to get him
Mate.
on?
Mate, that hat he was wearing, I've got the exact same hat at home. He's declined big time.
Listen, put Steve Della on. Steve knows his boxing, bro. Put Della on.
Who?
Steve Della. Or
Okay,
Greg Eady.
listen, find him.
Greg Eady did a good job in that corner.
Are you just fucking naming people, or are they on here?
They should be on there, bro.
Tap just wrote, sorry, boys, hungover.
Hungover. There you go. Yeah, he would
I
be
don't
too.
blame him, mate. You deserve to be hungover, mate. Celebrate.
Yeah. Did you see Steve on, or
Who?
did you see Steve Della on or not?
Nah, just hit him up. Or even Greg Eady. Put his son on.
Oh,
Greg did a great
they've
job.
got to be. Look, I know you. I understand you are old as shit. I get that. All right, I get that. But if they're not on Instagram at the time, you can't just.
Gotta make a fucking...
Skinny just throwing Ned down. Get Ricky Hatton on. Do it. Rob, get him on. Come on.
Ring
Now.
Eddie Hearn.
Get him on now.
Mate, I'm going to go with a safe one. It's always good value. He's always educated. How many phones have you got?
That's my gym phone. Della, Stevie.
That's a bit suspicious looking, isn't it?
Della. Okay.
Yo.
One sec. I'll give you a call back. All right, okay, bye.
What's going on?
What's going on?
Oh,
What are you
mate,
doing?
good?
Why are you always in the dark? Why are you always in the dark?
I'm driving home from training, mate.
Very suspicious person you are.
You're right, Skinny. You're onto something.
No, it's because he's got all the boys at home and a dog, so he's got to hide somewhere when he wants to want a bit of privacy. So this is his special room.
Don't fucking talk about my missus like that, but.
Yeah, my nephew's on.
What's going down?
Benny, what happened to Miles? He looked flat, bro.
Yeah, it wasn't his best performance. I didn't think so, but obviously he got the job done. So back to training and we go again, eh?
Does he spar better than that?
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Skinny's ruthless, isn't he?
Ruthless.
Isaac comes on, your opponent was shit. Benny comes on. Oh, your boy didn't box good, did he?
I rate Miles. I reckon he can fight, but he just seems that I don't know. Something happens fight night. That's all.
I understand what you're saying, mate. I'm with you. I'm putting all the pieces together, and it's a process.
Right now, Miles is just throwing his fucking phone across the room.
Hey, compliment Skinny saying that he expects more from him, and as he should, mate. I agree.
Mate, that is a positive way of looking at it. That is a positive way of looking at it, Benny. You caught the fights afterwards, didn't you? Yes.
After what? Oh yeah. Fuck, mate. I got to sit right beside Breidis' coach throughout Jai's fight. I was with Phil Murphy on the ring. Like, it was fucking unbelievable. What
All right.
Absolute performance, eh?
So we'll kick off with what came after you? It was David Nika and Louis Masters, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
How good, Master?
Go, Skin.
How good was that first round for Masters?
He tested him for one round. He wasn't fit enough. He took it on short notice. He tested him for a round. He tested his chin. Salva, you didn't see that one either, did you?
I missed the first 3 fights, so I'm just going to listen to the big ones.
You look like a fucking fisherman that's unemployed as well.
I missed too. I didn't see that fight because my sport, but.
Right, well, David did get, apparently, I came in just after he got the wobbly boot on, apparently, in the first round, but he did show composure, boxed long, put the pressure back on him, put him against the ropes, and got him out of there with a referee stoppage. Fair to say, Skin? Or are you going to have a go?
No, fair to say he did. It was a shaky first round, but the second round he dug in the body shots, he slowed him down, he broke him down. You knew the writing was on the wall because Masters came out and put a very... Like he put a heavy 3 minutes on in the first part of the fight. So I was never going to go his way, but Nika got hit, man. He looked vulnerable at one stage.
Nicola Costello says, imagine if he'd been stopped at the start. It looked like it took him a while to get his rhythm on. Then there's a few people just talking absolute rubbish about how much Skinny knows about boxing. So... we'll move right along. But look, they've taken hard fights from the get-go with David.
Yeah, very experienced amateur though. He doesn't need to be. He can be rushed a little bit. He must have had 150 amateur fights or something stupid, and he's travelled the world, been in all the big competitions, so he can step up in class fairly quickly.
Yeah, I don't know. I reckon he. I think he's got some adjusting to do. He was amazing as an amateur. Did you guys catch him at the WSB? I don't think he lost a fight in serious boxing. He was phenomenal. I think he boxed on Team GB, but yeah, I think he's struggling a little bit with the transition into the pros. But I know he's got it all there. He's definitely got it all there.
Well, he's with Noel Thornberry, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
Yes,
that's a good move, I think.
It's a strange move. That's at the back
true.
At the back of Toowoomba. But obviously Noel Thornberry, he knows what he's doing. But it's an odd one. I mean, training with Tyson Fury, he was overseas doing all that kind of stuff, and then you're at the back of Toowoomba. It was one that
In
I didn't see.
Gatton.
I mean, yeah, good on him.
Yeah, whose call was that? Like, how would that have happened?
No,
That's David. That's David. David checks out his coaches. David says who he wants to go with, who he doesn't want to go with. He obviously gelled with Noel.
Yeah, but Noel Thornbury was around long before David was around. He wouldn't have seen his pro career.
No, that's not.
No, he's judging him as a coach, but he's not judging him as a fighter, I think.
But we haven't seen Noel Thornbury coach. Who's he coached?
Alex
Yeah,
Leapai.
but if he's only got to train David Nika once, and David's got to make a decision on whether he thought that was good or not. If he went in there and did a session with him, he's gone, yeah, I feel like we gel. Perfect.
Cool though, Rob. He did coach Alex Leapai, so that's a big ticket item, I suppose.
Righto, from there, moving, we go to... I'm just trying to remember the order of it all. I was running in and out the whole time. I think it was Dana Coolwell versus... Was it Dana or Taylor?
Dana. Sorry, yeah.
Dana. Yeah, Dana Coolwell, Lorenz Ladrada. I'll start off with Benny Harrington. What do you think of that, Benny?
I thought Dana Coolwell was amazing, mate. I watched that fight pretty closely, up close. I thought he looked slick as shit, mate. He looked phenomenal, to be honest.
Sava?
I haven't seen it yet, but I know that he's amazing. You know, I told you before we came on tonight, I didn't see the first 3 fights. But Dana Coolwell's next level good.
Yeah, absolutely right. But now that there's 114 people, I'm going to act like I didn't know it, and I'm going to give you a hard time on.
Yeah, I really rate Coolwell. I reckon he's got a bright future ahead of him. Yeah, he really does that.
I reckon he's
Go on, Skinny.
I reckon he's a good featherweight. I think at super featherweight he was a bit too small at featherweight. He doesn't have to rely on power. He's slick. He's a good fight for Sam Goodman. He's a good fight for Luke Boyd. You know, so they don't have to always bring imports in for him. Like that body shot the other day, mate, that was going to put anyone out under 55 kilos. So he did well. As long as he doesn't struggle making weight, mate, the kid's going to go good at featherweight.
Chris Evans is in the comment section. That's right, he did coach Ricky Thornbury, who did fight Sven Otke at the height of his career. It was a great fight. Went the rounds with Sven Otke after Sven Otke stopped Anthony Mundine in, I can't remember, it was the 10th or the 12th with a big punch to the side of the head. And some more good names there. What else have we got in the comment section?
But with Coolwell, they're saying that Coolwell can potentially go down a weight division from feather. That's what his team's saying. So obviously he's making featherweight now, no worries. I always thought he was a featherweight too, just from the amateurs. He boxed at 56 kilos. I think they found their division. So I expect huge things from him. I don't know if you watched the fight very closely, but everything. What he used to do in the amateurs was he tried to shoulder roll a lot, and it didn't work for him in the amateurs. But he's got it sorted now. His shoulder roll that stance is good. He goes into the high guard really well. He's such a sharp shooter. Honestly, I think that was probably, apart from Jai, that was performance of the night for me, Dana Coolwell.
He's slick as. He's an absolute sniper. They want to keep him at featherweight. Apparently, that's where he's going to be campaigning now. Maybe it's good to see that his shoulder roll's coming in, because when he did rounds against the ropes with Jake Wiley and Ender Luquez, it wasn't coming off. It wasn't working as well. Sanctum Forge seems to agree with Benny Harrington, so that's good. That's Paul Briggs. And a big shout out to Tamara for doing Dana Coolwell's boots. They looked phenomenal. I wish they got a bit more attention on them. But yeah, he's boxing really well, Skin.
I don't like the shoulder roll. I think it's high risk. Honestly, I think it's a high risk move. They can double up on the right hand. They can sort of double up on the hooks. The shoulder roll, it doesn't work for me, man. That's the honest truth. So, but mate, you know, sometimes you work out your opponent early, and you can do what you want sometimes. Dana found out early that he can work out his opponent, and he was comfortable in what he did, but not a big fan of the shoulder roll.
Sava?
I mean, it's up for debate. I don't teach it either. I'm not a big fan of it, but you can't deny it's one of the most successful defensive tricks in boxing. You look at all the best defensive fighters, the Mayweathers, the Sweepies, the James Tonys, they're amazing with it. So
And it's
It all
not like
depends.
Talking about the best three fighters to ever do it. How many have got hit? How many times has Floyd got hit with the right hand doing the shoulder roll? Watch the Shane Mosley fight, the Maidana fight, or the Zab Judah fight. Yeah, and he got caught when he was doing the shoulder roll. And he's the best to do it.
What? You're saying that the shoulder roll wasn't an effective move for Mayweather?
I'm saying
What are you talking about?
the only time he ever got hurt was when he had the shoulder, when he rolled the shoulder.
Well, of course, because he lived with that shoulder roll. So everything he ever did, everything he did that worked was also off the shoulder roll. Everything he ever did was off the shoulder roll.
We don't count that ones. We count the ones he got hit with.
no.
Don't let me get Fennec on now. You know what will happen. Get Fennec on.
I'm happy to discuss that as well. No problem.
Oh. Oh God, you two are hysterical. Paul Tapley, you're right about that one too, mate. And yeah, everyone's guessing on the spelling, but I think Chris Evans got the spelling right with Meso. But
Mastalena Massa was a beast. Went to Germany and beat the WBA champion.
He used the shoulder roll.
He was a beast in that. He had the David Tour style, the elbow, you know.
He was just slipping a quick one on you, and it was well worth it, Benny Harrington. Thank you for joining. That was worth it the whole time. Taylor Robinson versus Jocelyn Fernandez, IBF World Youth title. What did you think, Skinwar?
Taylor's a class act, mate. That fight could have been stopped in the 4th round, the 5th round. It would have made a difference. She was just completely dominating that girl. The girl had a good record, decent opponents as well. So she was no slouch, but just Taylor was all class.
Sava?
Very impressive. Very impressive. Like she's starting to sell on her punches now. Her timing and her accuracy was the most impressive thing. I still think there's definitely an issue there with power though, because I don't get how you can hit somebody that many times flush on, and she did not miss her jaw once. That girl was tough to still be there after all that time. I felt like the referee I don't know why the referee bothered stopping it that close to the end. I was like, you've let her get her head punched in for 9.5 rounds, and then you're gonna stop it. Then if you're gonna stop it, you might as well have done it in round 5 or 6, I reckon.
Fuck yeah, my assistant Swizz, big shout out to him, because he usually got my computer with me. He's just giving me a quick breakdown of everything right there. Legend Swizz, big shout out to you. Yeah, look, she looked the goods. She's definitely sitting down on him a lot better. Her timing was right on. Paul Tapley was the referee at the time. He's in the comment section now. He's an amazing referee. The girl was fighting back at times. It's up for discrepancy. Even he said he could have probably stopped it a little bit earlier. But look, the writing was on the wall, and Taylor got the job done, and that's all that matters. And look, for me, it was a little bit more of the judging with what was going on, because one judge was always getting it wrong, and the other 2 judges were always a long way away. So that was what a lot of people seem to be talking about mostly. But we'll get into that in a sec. So Taylor Robinson getting the job done. What's next for her? We wait and see. But yeah, she definitely looked the goods on the night. What do you think, Benny Harrington?
Oh, I missed that fight, but I was talking to Chris Evans about it. He said he really liked it.
He does. Chris is a big fan. So, and yeah, he was. I could stop him from chatting my ear off about it later on as the night went on. But I had interviews I had to do, so I had to keep going. But from there,
but just quickly in that fight, towards the end of it, I was sitting near the commentators near Ben Damon and Fennec, and Fennec he lost his cool at the referee in between the 9th and 10th round and said, mate, you should have stopped. You should have stopped this fight a lot earlier, because she was just getting pumped. I didn't see it, but yeah, he was not happy. Fennec, he gave it to the ref.
Well, the girl was taking the shots well, to be fair, but it was just one after the other. Her jaw was getting whipped. It was it's pretty brutal.
Yeah, I didn't see.
But she wasn't wobbling. That was the strange part. Like, she was getting hit flush on the jaw and just kept coming.
Sometimes they're too tough for their own good.
Yeah.
Tough hombre.
That's a job for the corner. not for Jeff to comment on.
Yeah, the corner should have got out there.
Let the corner worry about it, because at the end of the day, the duty of care comes to the corner. So
And then the corner blew up that he stopped it.
I know. Yeah, I know.
Exactly. You're
I
right,
know
Steve.
Jeff's going to speak the truth all the time, but sometimes you just got to let the referees do their thing. Like Benny's, she was never hurt, the girl. She got hit clean, flush, but she was never rattled or
Never.
no chicken dance. She never got dropped. So, she could have finished the fight. It was only, 30 seconds to go, a minute to go?
No,
Yes.
it's pretty quick into the 10th round.
Yeah, so...
Start of the 10th.
Yeah.
Yeah, and look, the Tornadoes, like I said, he's in the comment section. He said, I nearly stopped it in the 8th when Taylor was landing great combinations, but the problem was the girl kept coming back. So it was up to him. Where are we at? Sanctum Forge says 100%. Rasta says, amen, Jeff is there as a commentator. So, all right, from there we go to the WBA Oceania and the WBC Australasian title at super welterweight. That was fought between Joel Camilleri and Cohen Marzudia, or as Lieutenant Dan likes to call him, Marzudia. Benny
now
Harrington.
you can talk about the judges. Now you can talk about the judges.
Fucking hell. Benny Harrington, what do you think of that fight?
I watched the fight on and off. It definitely wasn't Joel's best performance. He looked flat. He looked slow. He looked tired. In my opinion, I think Joel didn't do himself any justice. I think he's a lot better than that, but I mean, he's going to have to go back to the drawing board and see what he needs to fix, but that definitely wasn't the best version of Joel Camilleri.
Skin.
Yeah, I thought the first 4 rounds were pretty back and forth, but Mizuno just took over after the 5th. Joel did look fatigued. He looked flat. Maybe he put too much into training camp. Maybe he really wanted to beat this guy up, so... I haven't spoken to Joel yet, but I'm on a group with him, and he said he felt a bit flat. So I'll take his word for it. I don't know about his weight cut and that, but he didn't look too good in the second part of the fight.
Sanctum Forge, which is his coach, which is Paul Briggs, said that Joel went to sleep. Jeff Frazier says Rodney Marsh had a shocker. Joel was great for 2 rounds, and Elijah Salasui has joined as well. So shout out to Loco Coco. What do you think, Sava? Did you see that one?
Cohen was
starters?
on. Yep. Yeah, I did. Yeah, Cohen was on form. Cohen was absolutely on fire. Looked amazing. Joel was having an off night. Good. It was a cracking fight. The judge that gave did the judge give Joel the fight or a draw?
Yes. No. Flat out gave it to him by 2 rounds. Two rounds.
That should be brought into question because that's ridiculous. Because I think it was clear as day. Cohen won the fight. I love Joel's attitude. Joel's old school. Straight after the fight, I lost. Get over it. Onwards and upwards. I love that. I respect that. I love how he just took it on the chin, accepted the defeat, and said he'll be back. I like that.
I think also, rather than you made a good point, Sava. Rather than talking about Joel's, not the best version of Joel, you got to give credit to Cohen. Cohen, you can only fight what's in front of you. So congratulations, Cohen. The team must have put together a good game plan, and he executed it, and he moves on now. So.
Yeah.
And that absolutely has to be said, how good Cohen was on the night. He made the adjustments after the first fight. I don't think I can't remember, Saver, has he had a fight in between like Joel did? Or did he just go straight from Joel back into Joel again?
Nah, back to back, yeah.
Yeah. He made the adjustments. He made it work.
Cohen's up there with the best in the country. Cohen could go on and have some really, really big fights in that division. It's a stacked division, and Cohen's up there with the best of them. He really is. So it'd be interesting to see what he does next because there's so many good fights in the super welterweight division to be made.
Where would you like to see him go from there?
I think Joel's going to struggle from now on. When you're not technically sound, I think it's going to affect you in the long run in the future. Like at the early days, he was quirky, he was awkward, he was unconventional, and it sort of worked. But once his opponents got better, he started getting hit. We never seen Joel get hit early on. In his last 2 fights, he's got hit a fair bit. And I feel
like he didn't have a spring in his step. He's lost his footwork. His footwork might not be technically the best you've seen, but it works for him. And he'd dance and he'd move and he wouldn't be there. Whereas he was sort of settled and trying to be a bit more fundamentally sound. And sometimes that's a mistake. Same way when Prince Nassim went with Emmanuel Stewart and started trying to do things like the orthodox sort of technical route. It didn't work for him. sometimes I think like Joel's so far invested into his sort of awkward style now. I think he has to stick with that. Whereas he was trying to box a more traditional style, and I think that sort of cost him a bit.
But what happens when he fights better fighters that are technically better? So
Yeah, no, I agree with what you're saying, but I'm saying I think the mistake was trying to box traditional style boxing against somebody who's done that their whole career and is good at that. So
Benny
it'll be
Harrington.
interesting to see what he does from here. What's his next step? What does he need to change?
Oh, I don't know.
Benny Harrington.
You know what it is, Skinny? Joel trying fucking shoulder roll. No good. Get away from it. Eh? Did you see that? His lead hand down. No good, mate.
the poor thing's got a nose you can't miss.
His lead hand up. Fucking up here, eh?
Yeah. Like he never gets touched up. He had a cut eye, busted nose. He's got, but it is
It
what
was
it is.
a huge difference, eh? Like it was a huge difference considering the first fight was a fight that you could have given to either person. That was a bit of a shutout, I thought, from Cohen. So something definitely, whether it was, as you said, overtraining or undertraining, or he really just wanted to win it so much that he froze a little bit on the night. But having that many fights, I don't think that should be happening at this point in your career. He's not early days for Joel. So, you thought by now you should have your system down pat, your training plan down pat, and your team down pat. But I mean,
I said that Joel doesn't. I don't know if this is true or not, but I just like from watching his social media and that, I feel like he does a bit of training here and a bit of training there, and he one training camp he's running, the next training camp he's not running. I feel like maybe he doesn't know himself. I feel like he might be a little bit lost in his own style and his own methods.
yeah.
But like I said, I don't know that for sure. I'm only guessing that from what I see on his social media.
He needs one voice. He needs one voice in the corner. He needs one voice in the camp. You can't switch and swap and
it doesn't work.
It's good though that we're not blaming. Well, not that we're going to blame anyone, but you can't say anything about Joel's corner for this fight because you've had 35. If they're not the corner that have brought you all the way through, so they don't know you inside and out like they should.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think Joel's got to have to work out what he wants to do next, but he's probably got to stick with that team that he's got now, and they've just got to get back to the gym and get back to the drawing board.
Yeah, go back to the drawing board and have a look and see what's next. What's Cohen's next step?
But what's the drawing board? What do you do with Joel? Like, honestly, what do you get him to fight for an Australian title. You get him. Like, there's no point collecting regional belts and getting yourself a world ranking, then fight someone that's top 20 and get him beat again. Like, what he has to do, and it's very, 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 very simple. I had dinner with him beforehand and said, mate, it's basically a career-defining fight. You lose this one, that's 8 losses. 31 fights, it's your 8th loss, right? Now, it's not like Wade Ryan where he can turn it around. I said, mate, you have to do the 1%ers. You cannot go back into that fight against Cohen, who is younger and will make the adjustments without pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone. Whether that's fitness or technique, you cannot rely on what you've relied on in the past. Cohen and Rodney will go back to the drawing board. They'll see that and then they'll come with a different game plan. They will make the adjustments. He has to make the adjustments. He really does. He's got the talent. He's definitely got the experience. You got Paul Briggs in there as a technical coach. He uses Dundee Kim as more of like a conditioning coach on the pads and stuff like that. And he has to really knuckle down and bite the bullet and make the adjustments. Like if he doesn't want to run, fair enough. Running's not for everyone, but he does need to get outside of his comfort zone and he does need to turn the level up. I think he's completely to Wade Ryan. Wade Ryan fought the best in the country and sort of tested him. And he's entertaining Wade Ryan. He goes out there and puts it on. Joel is, he might have one good night, one bad night. He doesn't always look the best. And he's not always entertaining. Wade Ryan is always entertaining. The only bloke that ruined Wade Ryan's party was Dennis Hogan. That's all. But every other fight before that, Wade Ryan, mate, puts bums on seats. And that's the honest truth. Joel hasn't got that kind of style. He doesn't engage. He's very bouncy. He's very in and out. He's low risk, high reward. Mate, I put him on the pads. I've put him on the shield. He can whack like a mule, but he doesn't hurt no one because he doesn't sit on his punches. So if you can get Joel sitting on his punches and trading with some of these guys, he can actually hurt them. But I don't know. I don't know if he's got no faith in his power, but he's in and out. He's very bouncy. It takes a lot out of you. When you start getting older as well, what's Joel now? 28, 29?
No.
Not sure.
I think he's I think he's 30,
Yeah.
He doesn't look
32.
doesn't look a day over 40, to be honest. I love Joel.
Poor fucker. I hope he's watching this.
That's why I'm filthy, because I had Joel in my multi.
And let's be honest, yeah, he's definitely 30 or 32, yeah. They're starting to jump in now. 32 says Paul Briggs, so he knows. But the numbers are jumping up. But the thing about Joel is Joel knows that we all care about him and that we all have his best interests at heart, you know. It's nothing that he hasn't heard, and it's nothing that we haven't said to him previously. Will he come back? Absolutely he will. He'll probably host his own show down in Melbourne again or something like that, where he'll get, an opponent or two and then get himself back up for another one. But by his own admission, he thought that the Cohen fight wasn't the best. Obviously styles make fights. He didn't think that style matched up with him the way he was going in. So, yeah.
Yeah, big facts.
What's next for Cohen? I'd like to see Cohen do the rematch. I'd like to see Cohen do the rematch with Wade Ryan. I think he beats Wade Ryan on his best day.
Yeah.
I think he'll win the first time.
Cohen's made the adjustments. I agree with Chris Evers. He's made the adjustments and he looked good. And he needed Joel to test him. He needed to be tested in a fight as well, and he got through it. He got through it really well. Dylan Biggs, some people are saying.
Dylan Biggs, he's a problem. He's a problem for many people in that division. That kid can fight.
He can, and he's just going to be entering in the pros, but he's decent. We've seen him spar with Nikita and others. He's very, very good.
I think there's more. Cohen's got to start going up the ladder. He hasn't got to go down or sideways.
Yeah.
People are mentioning the Ben Marnie fight. That has been put to Ben Marnie before, and he has said no. The thing is, Ben's the number 2 super welterweight in the country at the moment, if I'm remembering correctly. Whereas I couldn't tell you. I haven't had a look. Quan says that Benny Marnie would be good. It would be, because Benny Marnie's got to fight someone. But I'm assuming that there might be talks with Matchroom with what's going on, so he might be on a card for that one. So for Cohen, he then starts to move through the others, which he's got to be careful because Nikita's coming up too, So
well, I got a kid, Ben Hussein. They were matched to fight, but Ben got injured. That one, Ben Hussein and Cohen. That's a good fight. They're both similar, I reckon.
That is a ridiculously good fight. That is a great fight. Benny Hussein versus Why?
Benny's had 5 fights. Let the guy enjoy himself, bro. You just put him in deep, heavy. The guy is poor kid, mate. He's having a hard fight. He's 23, mate. Let him mature. Let him enjoy himself. He doesn't even know what weight he's fighting at. 1 minute he's a middleweight. He's got a belt at middleweight.
He does. IBO regional.
That was 60. Anyway, we'll get off that topic because let's get back to the fight card. That's what people want to hear. But yeah, 9 kilo.
You got him fired up. Skin. Faris Chevalier versus Connor Wallace for the WBO Oceania, and there was an IBF regional belt in there as well at light heavyweight. What did you think of that one, Benny Sava? You can start off with this one.
I was really impressed with Connor Wallace. I think he's improved a lot. He's always good anyway, but now he looks more like a pro now. I was really impressed with him. I think he needs to get a different hairdresser, but his boxing skills are mad. His hairdresser's worse than mine.
Is that Irish?
No one agrees with you. No one agrees with you.
It must be Irish.
It's a European thing to have bad haircuts. But no, he boxed good. He boxed good, real good.
What do you mean by he boxed good, real good? Fucking hell, wait a minute.
He was really he walked forwards. I was expecting him to box like a classic amateur. He's got that amateur pedigree, but he settled down, marched forwards, drew Chevalier into a fight, which I wasn't expecting. I thought it was going to be a long-range cage affair. But he settled his feet and walked forwards and made a fight of it. So it was good. I was impressed.
His jabber was laser, wasn't it, Skin?
I kind of was. You know what? Honestly, his corner won him the fight. That's the honest truth. Faris was going backwards. Wallace had a good jab, controlled the range. I thought he could have been more aggressive, to be honest, but he was fighting. He was comfortable. He looked comfortable in the ring. he never looked, like even when Farris hit him, I don't think Farris ever hurt him, but he was very composed. His corner was very composed. They gave him the right instructions. So, mate, they want him to fight.
Sorry, Skinny. I was obviously at the venue, so I didn't hear the corner from television land like you. But how did they win him the fight?
Mate, they were turning keep it simple. Sit behind the jab. When he moves to the left, throw that lead left hand. Like they were sort of calming him down. I don't know Wallace, but he seems like a bloke that can switch off in between rounds. And I think they're just trying to keep him focused on the job at hand. He just looks like a bloke that can win 2 rounds and sort of lose focus and lose a couple of rounds. I thought Greg Eady, Steve Dillon, the boys were sort of keeping him composed, telling him to keep it basic, very simple, because that jab and the lead left hand won him the fight, nothing more.
Yeah, no, for sure. I definitely when I was there too. I thought he did it pretty comfortably, to be honest. Towards the end, he was so far up, he didn't really engage in that last round. He was cruising, but yeah, he was laser sharp. I mean, he's won 12 Irish titles in the amateurs. He was in Conor McGregor's training camp for Mayweather. So Conor's been around. He's a sharpshooter. I actually tipped Conor to win that, and just for the fans out there, I did get him at 15-1 to win by points. So
yeah, crazy odds, weren't there?
They were crazy. It was $11. It was $11 at one stage, and when we went to hit on it, it dropped straight away down to $7.50. So yeah, it was going quick. But yeah, I agree with everything that everyone was saying. Farris, I think, came out with was either he had a game plan that didn't work and didn't have a plan B, or he was surprised by Conor. But I think Conor boxed beautifully. His jab was right on. When he threw his lead left hand, it found a home just about every time. And I agree, Skin. I came out the back at one stage in between to check on an interview, and I sat down next to Caden from All Star Boxing, and I did hear Greg Eady in the corner with him because they had a big projector on out the back there saying to him, all right, mate, in that round, you went in and you weren't listening and you tried to get into a bit of a dogfight with him. And that's when I think Farris got him into a clinch and hit him coming out of the clinch, which might have waken him up a little. And then, yeah, he got him back on the money. So, yeah, it sounded, from what I heard from that, it sounded like he had good cornering for him. Now, Conor's got all the chocolates. He's got the WBA Oceania and he's got the IBF. So what's next for him? I'm not sure. What's next for Farris? Definitely don't know. But Conor at light heavyweight, there's some Skin. You put the list up in our group.
Yeah, it's very, very. Like Paulo Alcuza is probably not going to happen because they're with different promoters. It's going to be hard to make the fight happen. Paulo wants his quick fights. I think you get Wallace to defend. Maybe give him an easy win because he's had 2 hard fights. The fight he lost was a very physical fight. Yes, the fight against Farris was very headspace fight. I actually thought Farris didn't have a game plan. I thought he came out and was trying to work off the cuff and see what happens, but it didn't work.
Well, I think his limitations were exposed. He's good at what he does, but there was no plan B there. I think as soon as he found himself losing at that sort of cagey long range game, he couldn't adapt and find a way to sort of change the way the fight was going.
No, I think I was he got out counterboxed, didn't he? Because to bring you to him, he wants you to throw a lot of punches so he can make you look silly. But he was nice and patient, Conor, and his front hand was just so sharp that he didn't need to do much more than jab, did he? Really, if he just back jab, he didn't need to do much more. Even when he was throwing his backhand and then landing it was still a risk that he didn't even need to take, because Farris was just, if you watch the first, I was saying to whoever I was sitting with, he was just going, Farris would go from corner to corner to corner to corner to corner to corner, non-stop, just the whole fight, really. So decided to walk in, telling Conor to bring it on. It's like, well, hang on, Farris, you do that to every opponent. Yeah. But now you want
the onus was on him. The onus was on him to make the changes, not Conor. Conor did well just to stay disciplined.
Yeah, he looked pretty dangerous, Farris, when he did let his hands go. Like, he's a big, solid guy, but when you box that hole for so long, it's very hard to change it up when you're down, So, good.
Yeah,
and Conor didn't have much in his completions apart from having the feet and being nice and tall to get out of range after he did sting Farris. Farris was always playing catch-up boxing. And, yeah, tough carries. I agree with you. Jerome Pampoloni from Peach Boxing, the Kiwi, that'd be a good fight for Connor.
Yeah.
Well,
Also, another thing that
Ferris got a new corner.
Oh, thanks, Elijah. Yeah, he does, down in Melbourne.
You realize he's moved to Melbourne. He's got a new corner. Lim Jekka was a former Australian champion, but I don't think they've gelled yet. They just they couldn't get it together in that fight night.
another big thing think about here, Rob, is that Farris used to box at the same gym Connor's at now at Fortitude, so they come up with a game plan. They've spent many times with Farris, so they know what Farris was going to do, and they proved that they are a very smart team and they got the job done because Farris is a tricky customer, but they actually did it pretty easy, if I'm honest.
They had the blueprint. You nailed it on the head, Benny Harrington. They really, really did. Okay, Isaac Hardman, Bo Hardest. Benny Harrington.
Crazy. What a knockout. Amazing. But as Skinny, well, probably not the greatest opponent, but I understand both sides of the story with Sava and Skinny, but it's done now. So he got in there, he did the job, and now he can just move on to the next one. Hopefully Mikhailovich. I agree probably a little bit more with Skinny that he's there already. I mean, I think he could jump back in with them, with any of them. He believes in himself. He's got a great team and he's got a great promoter. So there's no need for Isaac to be taking those kind of fights. But yeah, it was a great fight. And he slept the guy. It was actually pretty scary because, again, I was sitting ringside for that one, and they brought the stretcher into the ring, and yeah, I was very happy that he was all right after it because for a bit there, everyone was pretty worried about the guy.
Yeah, he was, and our thoughts go out to Bo Hardest because he's a great guy and a character of the sport. But the thing with DNL is they will make their guys fight each other. So Mikhailovich, Hardman, you'll probably see. Connor Wallace, Pampoloni, you'll probably see. Jai Opetaia. If Jason Watley's got to get past the Polish fighter, then you'll probably see that. That's what they do. And they keep it going like that. So you'll probably see these fights coming up. Right, let's go.
Sorry to get off now, but I've got a cruise, so I have to bring someone else.
Right.
Yeah, boys.
All right, I'll get ready.
Right, see you in a bit, mate.
Guys, see you.
See you, Benny.
Yeah.
All right, who we got?
Fortune, Briggsy. What the hell's Joel? Where's Jade Mitchell?
On the nest.
What a letdown.
Hopefully safe and sound. There he is, Icon.
How are you, mate?
My man.
Hey,
Look at Briggsy.
Hey, Skinny.
You look warm, buddy.
Nice and warm, toasty, actually. Just got home from the gym.
Good man.
All right, boys, let's go. We've got the Icon on. We've got Paul Briggs, Sanctum Forge, The Art of Boxing. Let's go. IBF Cruiserweight World Title. And new. Oh, my Lord. Talk us through the first 2 rounds, Benny Sava.
Well, I think Jai did what Jai does. He boxes probably what you'd class as a stereotypical amateur style, but he's obviously got some power because Breidis had a lot of respect for him from the start. Like, I thought he was going to walk up way more than he did, but he obviously felt a bit of sting and he was hesitant and he was unsure about himself. And Jai's footwork and his straight punches are just, well, they're world class, legitimate world champion class, and it showed. I think he pretty much dominated from the start.
Briggsy.
Yeah, I'm in complete agreement. Jai's, he's made the transition into the pros from the amateurs and taken that style and really made it work in such an incredible way. I'll tell you something interesting. I watched the fight the next morning with Breidis and Usyk. And I think Jai did a better job
Then Usyk.
Yeah.
I think Jai dominated Breidis. I'm not saying Jai dominated Breidis, but I think he dominated him better than what Usyk even did. I think, and in saying that, like we all know you can get old in one fight. How much older was Breidis than when he fought Usyk. Not sure, but I don't know. I put it all down to Jai's skills. I was just blown away. I really was. I did not think. I hoped, but I didn't think that Jai was going to be able to do as good as he did. And he just,
wow.
yeah, it was just crazy to watch. I was jumping up and down like a little girl, screaming. Like I was there, and I feel sorry for the people sitting beside me. I was just jumping up and down like an idiot.
I watched the fight. I was stood in with Tapu Opetaia, who's in the comment section, and Jai's dad. It's a big shout out to Taps. Wearing the same hat that I've got. But yeah, I was there with him, Elijah, and Steve from SUF. And Jai's performance was amazing. He was just right on. He boxed well. He showed maturity beyond his years. He stayed composed, went through adversity, and he broke his jaw in the second round. Skinny.
Mate, he was on his toes, bouncing in and out for 9 rounds before he sat. He was like in, out. He had won that fight after 9 rounds. Like there was no taking it off him. Mate, I haven't seen a performance that courageous since Jeff Hardy against Dennis Andres. That's the honest truth.
Yeah.
He showed kahunas.
Yeah,
We said before that we hadn't seen Jai lose a round or a minute of a round or even be under threat. Like this guy is the best fighter under heavyweight, or the most accomplished. 3-time cruiserweight champion, 1 loss to Usyk, no shame. And I agree with Paul Briggs. He did a better job than Usyk did, because Jai was in and out for not. Mate, that fight was done after 9 rounds. He could have packed in for 3 rounds and still won the fight, but that's not Jai. Jai tried to fight in the last couple of rounds. Mate, that was amazing.
Where do you guys rank that as a Australian all-time performance?
wow.
I reckon it's
It has to be right up there.
I reckon it's up there in top 2, maybe top 3.
Mate, your fight with
100%.
Adamek was close. You both sort of put each other in hospital. It wasn't good. It was good for us to watch. It wasn't good for you to sort of go through that kind of pain.
I put it up there with Harding and Andres, like you said, Skinny. Look, when you found out at the end that he actually had a broken jaw, apparently from early in the fight, like far out. That's next level. Yeah. That's you know. And it's funny. I was talking on Messenger with Mark yesterday, I think, and just said, what do you think about the jaw? And he said, well, jaw's technically, healed stronger. And I said, really? I wasn't aware of that, So the biggest thing would be, will he still be okay psychologically? What kind of effect will that have on a fighter psychologically? Look at Benny Hussein. He's come back like a beast, from breaking his jaw, and that was horrific, that jaw break. Yeah, far out.
Jai's gone through some injuries in the last couple of years. He's busted his rib. He's done his hand. He's come through some poor thing, mate. For 27, he's got a body of a 60-year-old. The poor thing.
Yeah, he's got a different mentality. I agree with Elijah. He's got a different mentality. With a lot of fighters, that would be there'd be a lot of downtime and inner work that'd have to go on with confronting those demons again of getting in the ring and worrying about if you're going to get hit again. Which will change the dynamic of your training, your sparring, everything. It'll change the DNA of everything, of every way you fight. But I think Jai is a different breed. I think he got through it with the hand. He fought for 2 years with a busted hand. He got over it with that rib. If it was going to be anything, it was going to be that rib. And Tuese and Jason Watley and a few other boys, they had to test that in the sparring leading up to this fight to make sure that it was 100%. Shout out to, what have we got? Bruno Torimo's in the comment section. Coach Frankie Pianto, Alfie DiCarlo, Stevie Sparks. They've all just joined in now. But yeah, I thought he, and Ange as well, I thought he really, like I said, the adversity that he faced throughout the fight. So he took all that into the fight. The COVID, the stoppage, the long camp, the rib, Then to have the jaw go in the second. And let's not forget, he hit Breidis with that uppercut, which changed the dynamic of Breidis as well. Breidis, for his age, then he couldn't breathe properly at all. It took his nose straight out of the game, had to breathe through his jaw. But Breidis showed, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, 4th or 5th, I think I was with Taps when it was where Breidis came on strong, and Jai had to box, clinch when he needed to. He made the ring enormous, which was a mid-sized ring. So as soon as he was in adversity with Breidis, he knew how to make the ring enormous. Breidis was forever trying to chase him around, and when he clinched nice, he turned him back into the ropes, and then from there, and then from there, the bell would ring, and he'd come out fresher in the next round. Fair to say, Skin?
Yeah, exactly what you said, bro. Like I said, mate, for 9 rounds, he didn't stop bouncing, mate. I can't bounce for 3 minutes, let alone 9 rounds for a bloke that blows up to 114 kilos. So he would have been close to 100 kilos in the ring. For him to bounce the way he bounced, man, he looked like a lightweight in the ring, mate. That was a phenomenal performance, bro. And we finally got what's called Joy tested. We finally seen that he tested, and he passed with flying colours. Whatever doubt we had, or whatever doubt I had, he solidified
He answered those questions.
for sure.
Briggsy, he's changed teams. He came over. He beat those adversities, those challenges with the hand and the rib, the changing of the team. Shout out to Tapu for getting him, taking him as far as he did. Shout out to Mark Wilson, Mark Matthew for for that fight and what Mark's done with him for the last 2 fights with his fitness. But to answer those questions with such a dominant performance, Briggsy, how does that now put him instead as a fighter?
What, on the world stage or
no, just with as a fighter himself, beating that adversity, answering those questions, coming out in front of his hometown with that performance.
Oh, it creates what I call Mike Tyson syndrome, where when Mike Tyson was unbeaten, where you can develop a mindset where it's like, well, I just can't be beaten now. When you go through those sort of adversities with regards to injury and that sort of thing, and you get your jaw broken early in the fight, if that's when it happened early in the fight, and you keep backing a man like Breidis up and outscoring him, and he at no point did he question. Did you see a Jai questioning his ability? At no point did you see through his actions him questioning his ability. He just kept stepping up and stepping up and stepping up, and to do that in the pain that he would have been in, that's next level. Like this guy is. I've always rated Jai, always, but now it's like, forget about it. Like this guy could be an all-time great with regards to Australian boxing and if not the world,
Yeah, and he did the first break in the second round, and then the second break on the right-hand side happened, he said, in the 11th, somewhere between the 9th and the 11th. He said it was in the 11th, and that was what kind of, let it all kind of let go from there. Sava, we've got Makabu, Okoli. You'd think that Breidis was the top of the pack with all of them, skill-wise, and as the whole package. Now you've got Jai in there. How's he go with these boys, you reckon?
I think he has to beat him, doesn't he? I think he just beat the world's number one. We were saying before this fight, we don't know where Jai's ceiling is. Well, he just beat the number one, and I still don't think we know where his ceiling is. I feel like all Breidis' damage was done in a few small exchanges throughout the fight. Like, actually, overall the fight, Jai dominated it. Like, take out the fact, despite what his face looked like at the end, he dominated the fight. Well, how far can he go? He just beat the world number one, like, comfortably, bar a few massive shots that did that damage. It's crazy. Wow. He's got to be favoured to beat everyone in the world.
I like Coley. Coley is a long, rangy, big guy too. WBOG, and he's very unconventional, not technically the best. I asked Jai to fight that bloke years ago when he was Commonwealth champ, but it never happened. But he's got to be quick because Coley's looking at going up to that bridge weight, whatever it is, because I think he's struggling to make 200 pounds. But that's a good fight because unification fights for Jai. He deserves it. He's entitled to it too.
Yep. And he's still in the toddler stages with regards to his professional career. He's still got so long to go. and look at where he's at. You know, like sky's the limit.
He's just turned 27. Great cornering from Greg Edis, says Chris Evers, but great cornering also from Mark Wilson and Tony Nobbs, says Chris. Tapu Opetaia says, that's right, he just beat the best out of all of them. Stevie from SUF's just joined. Billy Dibbs just joined. So, yeah, but we're just about to wrap it up, boys.
Who's that guy? Who's Billy Dibb?
You're a crack up, you are. But yeah, that is an amazing performance. Wow. I think we've summed it up. I think we've covered all the bases. I thought he dominated the fight. I thought he looked good right the way through. We were counting the rounds. That's right. And Tapu with getting him where he got him to. Elijah was being the voice for Taps. Whenever Tap yelled anything out, Elijah would listen to it and then scream it out even louder. So he was helping out.
I'll tell you what it is for all these other young Aussie boxers out there. It's a permission slip to go and smash the rest of the world. That's exactly what it is, you know. And the fact that like back when Skinny was up there fighting, when I was fighting, we were doing really, really well at the top level. But now we're beating these guys like for world titles and that sort of thing. You know what I mean? So. You know, where we might not have quite had the what would you say, the pedigree through the sparring and all that kind of thing, when we got up there, now these guys are doing it. So I think this is a massive permission slip for all these young guys coming up the ranks to actually not just take on the rest of the world, but beat them.
Well, we've got Shanika now with an IBF. We've got Ebony with an IBF. We saw George get the 4 belts there, including the Ring magazine. So as one of the 4, he didn't get the full WBC. He got the WBC. Can't remember what the other one was, but it was still good. And now we've got Zarafa about to go for an IBF as well. So Australia is lighting up, and they're lining up to take on the world.
Well, traditionally, Australia is known as all of Australia's past champions have all been successful as tough guys. They've got in there and they've out-muscled and out-hustled people and they've become world champions that way. The new breed of Australian fighter is matching people on the world level with skills. They're still tough. Obviously, look at Jai's jaw. They've still got that toughness, but now they've got world-class skills coming through as well. So the world's Australia's oyster right now. There's a lot of guys coming through who can go all the way.
And their total packages as athletes too. They're doing their strength and conditioning properly. They're doing nutrition properly. They're supporting their with recovery. Oh, will you stop it? They are. It's 2022. Get out of it.
Strength conditioning, lifting weight is gonna win your fight, isn't it?
We're talking about explosive power and athlete development.
Mate, you wanna look like a bodybuilder? You wanna look like a fighter? Who gives a shit? John Ruiz looked like a freaking Donut King commercial ad, and he won the heavyweight title of the world. Stop,
mate.
Benny.
It is boxing specific. You've gone and dyed your beard.
I have.
Good spot, Rob. Good spot.
I can tell straight away. Righto. And on that note, thank you very much, Paul Briggs. Thank you, boys. Thank you to Bernie Harrington and Isaac Hartman for jumping on. We love doing the Go Lives. Let's go, Jai, and you. And big shout out to Nathan DiCarlo for jumping in as well. Don't listen. Nathan DiCarlo's agreeing with me. He's not agreeing with you at all, Skinny. He's agreeing with me. Thank you, Nathan. See you, boys.